If you're watching this, you're either about to learn to play guitar or you have a loved one or a child who's batted their eyes at you in the hopes of you getting everything that they would need to start playing guitar. Firstly, nice, great choice. You're going to be the coolest kid or adult on the block. However, if you're new to all of this, it might be a little bit daunting. What guitar should you buy? What do you need to buy with it? Well, wonder no more, because in this video, we're gonna go through precisely that. No fussing, no messing around, just the facts. As a side note, actually, this video is mainly gonna focus on electric guitars. If you're looking specifically to learn on an acoustic guitar, then watch this video where I go through the best acoustic guitar types to buy and what to look out for. Funnily enough, it was actually my first ever video for GAC, so go and laugh at how awkward I am compared to now. Now, back to electrics. This is everything that you need to know. Firstly then, let's talk about the main element, which is of course the guitar. Now, one thing I'll stress at this moment about the guitar is don't overthink it. You're gonna be spending at least the first 6 months teaching your fingers to push down the strings, learning all of your chords and your scales, various techniques. So at this point, how it sounds is not that important. Pick something that is within your price range. As much as I would love to tell you to go on our website and buy a nice £2,000 guitar for a beginner, in all honesty, it's just not necessary. I mean, I'm not just telling you to go out and buy the cheapest guitar that you can find. I mean, you will develop and you will want to grow into a more substantial instrument. So if you've got the budget now to get something that's gonna last you a bit longer than your Argos My First Guitar, then absolutely go for it. I'm just saying at this stage, you're not gonna notice the difference. Also, looks do actually kind of matter. I know in reality it's not true and looks don't actually affect how the guitar functions, but getting an instrument that you love the look of and think is so cool is just so much more motivating to get you to pick it up and play it. Honestly, when you get a really cool looking guitar that just looks great in your room, every time you walk past it, you're gonna wanna pick it up and play it. So yes, looks do matter. So which particular guitars do I recommend then? Well, I'm not gonna go too specifically because I want this video to make sense in a year or 2 years from now. So we will have a full list of the best guitars at any time on our website in the description on our beginner's guide page. What are my particular picks then? Well, at the moment, I really like the Squier Affinity range because it offers affordable versions of classic Fender guitars. A lot of them you may grow up as a guitarist to go and buy and play. Things like the Affinity Tellies and the Strats are great starting points because they don't feel too cheap, but they are affordable. I know I said sound isn't important, but it is kind of nice to get something that is going to be steering you towards what inspired you to pick up a guitar. So let's talk a little bit about sound. Fender type guitars like Tellies and Strats tend to have single coil pickups, which are a little bit thinner sounding, a bit crispier and a bit brighter, which are perfect for clean tones and jangly indie and things like that. Whereas humbucker guitars tend to have a thicker, warmer sound, which stands up to a lot of high gain, overdrive and distortion that make it great for rock and metal. A good starting point for those are the budget Epiphone ranges. Now there's a few different options here. You can get budget Les Pauls and SGs, which are two very famous Gibson style guitars. You can get them in various different price ranges, all of which feel and sound great. If you're buying for a child who maybe has a smaller reach, you can get them the power players, or if you're buying for a full-sized adult or someone who just wants to get used to the size of a full-size guitar, then go for something like an Epiphone Studio model. Okay, so that's probably enough about the actual guitar, because like I say, the chances are when a guitarist grows up, they'll want to move and buy a guitar that's a little bit more specifically tailored to the type of music they've grown up as a guitarist and want to play. So with that being said, let's talk about the rest of the things that you're gonna need with a guitar, starting with the amp. Okay, so an electric guitar, unlike an acoustic guitar, on its own won't make a sound. Well, actually, it makes like that, which let's face it, it sounds a bit naff. So you need an amplifier, or an amp for short. Now, nowadays, there are loads of different ways that you can amplify your guitar. There are all sorts of gadgets out there, like headphone amps or amp headphones. They are slightly different. Those sorts of things are perfect if you've got angry neighbors or sleeping relatives. However, I do think to begin with, it's always just nice to have at least a little amp that has a speaker that's playing back at you. Something you can plug in practice that's not too difficult to set up or doesn't have you stuck in your earphones. Plus, it's the classic way to play guitar. There are loads of great affordable amps out there that have tons of different sounds and effects on board, which is perfect for a beginner who's trying to dip their toe into new and fresh guitar sounds that they've never experienced before. The Fender Mustang range, the Orange Crush range, or even the Boss Katana range that I have with me right here in our special former GAK colors for our 25th birthday, all of which are perfect for beginners. Price will depend on size, and so will volume, so definitely choose carefully. Okay, so you've got the guitar and you've got the amp, which is gonna make the guitar make the noise. So you think that's it? Absolutely not. You'll definitely need a few more things, so let's go through that now. Firstly, and probably most importantly, you're gonna need a guitar cable. Now, these things are called a myriad of different names, like guitar leads and jack cables, instrument cables, but principally it's all the same thing. 2 1/4-inch jacks on either end. One connects to your guitar, the other connects to the amp. Now, you don't need to spend over the odds on these, especially not at the beginner stage. However, the more you spend, the more reliable the guitar cable will be. They don't really have a massive effect on sound, so don't think like you have to get a really posh one for it to sound as good as possible. Mainly what you're looking for is reliability and longevity. If you ask me, the best kind of cables you can get are braided cables, which aren't exactly rubber on the outside, but it's more like a string or a rope kind of feel. Fender do some great ones in their deluxe range. Orange do some, I believe Ernie Ball do some as well, but there are tons out there. Like I say, you don't have to spend over the odds. Just get something that's within your price range. To strum the guitar and play the strings, you're gonna need a plectrum, or as they're sometimes known, a pick. Now, they come in various different materials like Tortex and nylon and other such things, but I think the most important thing for you to get down as soon as possible is what thickness you like. They come in a variety of different thicknesses, and those suit differing players accordingly. For example, a very thin pick will be a lot more flexible and is a lot easier to strum with, but can get a little bit tripped up when you're playing individual notes, whereas a really thick pick might be a bit too resistant to do consistent strumming. However, if you're playing individually, it will hold up and keep its shape when you're playing lots of notes in a very short space of time. At your early stage, it's going to have minimal effect on your tone. However, it's very important for you to ascertain which style you prefer the best. So to that, I would say get a variety pack of picks that have a load of different thicknesses in there. You can play with each one and decide which thickness is for you. Dunlop are undoubtedly one of the leaders of the industry when it comes to picks, so grab yourself a Dunlop variety pack and have a little play with them all and see which one you like the best. I think lastly, in the section of this video I'm going to call the essentials that you absolutely need to have in order to play an electric guitar, I'm going to add a strap. Now, of course, you can actually play the guitar without a strap, you just have to sit down, but let's face it, you're playing an electric guitar because you want to rock out. You probably want to stand up and jump around your bedroom, and to do that, you're going to need something to hold the guitar on you. Not only that, but having a good guitar strap at a decent height when you're sitting down can offer you stability on the guitar while seated as well. Guitars at a beginner price range tend not to come with their own strap. In fact, normally that's reserved for custom shop guitars, so you're definitely going to need to buy one separately. However, you don't need to spend a lot of money. This Ernie Ball strap, for example, is made of polyester and sets you back around £5 or £6. Really affordable. Of course, a strap can be something of a fashion thing, so you can go and get some really nice fancy straps, even leather ones with really cool patterns on them. A lot of that is down to personal preference. Just remember, the more you spend on a quality strap made from quality materials, the longer it's going to last, and the less likely your guitar is going to fall off from the straps and land on the floor. Just bear that in mind. Now those are the bare essentials that I think every guitarist should have before they start playing. However, now I'm going to recommend a few things that you can pick up that will just make your life a bit easier. The first one is a tuner. Now you can get loads of different apps on your phone nowadays that will help tune your guitar. There's YouTube videos that will play all the notes in tune that you can just listen to via your ear. However, having your own tuner makes the process so much more convenient and is much more accurate. You can get tuner pedals that you can control via your foot whilst you're playing. However, I don't think that's really essential for a beginner, plus you're probably not playing around with pedal boards yet. So my best advice would be to go and pick yourself up a clip-on tuner. I put it on the guitar. They're really small, they're really convenient. You can just throw them in your guitar's gig bag or something like that and just get it out, put it on the headstock, and you're ready to tune in seconds. They're relatively affordable as well, so you're not gonna have to spend loads of money on them. You can get them from pretty reliable brands such as Korg and Boss and Fender. So whilst it's not essential, it's definitely recommended. Now every guitar that you buy on the market, particularly from us, will come with all of the strings attached as standard. However, guitar strings don't last forever, they snap and need replacing, so it's best to get a set when you buy the guitar so that you're not stuck without a string when you really need one. They have different thicknesses known as gauges, and 9 or 10 gauge strings are the most common that you'll find. The thinner the string, the easier it is to play and bend notes and things like that. However, the more prone they are to breaking. The thicker you go, the better the tone the string has. However, they can be a little bit more difficult to play as they are much higher tension and harder to move. You can get great affordable strings from brands such as Ernie Ball and D'Addario and others like that. However, the most important thing to look out for is the particular gauge. Lastly, if you want to protect the guitar and keep it in good shape, then you're definitely going to need a gig bag. Guitars at an affordable price range that are suited to beginners tend not to come with a gig bag included unless you get it as part of a pack. But that's okay, because you can pick one up yourself nice and easily. They are relatively affordable and it's a kind of one-size-fits-all thing, at least for regular shaped guitars such as Strats, Tellys, Les Pauls, SGs, all the ones we've talked about today. But I wouldn't spend too much on the gig bag unless you really are going to be running all over the world with it. Chances are you just need something to protect it if you're running off to your guitar teacher's house or something. And with that, I think that's pretty much it. The bare essentials that you need to begin, along with a few extras that will just make your life a bit easier. As I said before, we've made a full page on our website that will have recommendations for all the different gadgets and bits and accessories that we've been talking about. So if you want a much more specific shopping experience, check out the link in the description. But I hope you learned something today. I hope I could clear up for someone brand new to guitars exactly what you need, and hopefully giving you a bit of advice when it comes to starting guitar. If you have any more tips or if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and of course we'll be here to help each other out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to see more things like this, and we will see you very soon.